Okay, welcome to today's Fireside Chat hosted by Northpass. I'm Richard Pozlesny and I oversee marketing here at Northpass. And with me today, I have two members of the Channable team. I have Vanshj, who is one of the marketing leaders at Channable. And then I also have Floyd Van Zoelen, who is actually one of the team's knowledge specialists. They are both responsible for driving a lot of the efforts behind Channable's customer education initiative and the Channacademy. So today we're going to just have a fireside chat, which is a relatively informal dialogue. Just have a little bit of Q&A back and forth. And we hope you can actually walk away with some customer education takeaways today from this conversation. So that being said, let's just dive right in. So Vance, Floyd, please feel free to introduce yourselves. Tell us a little bit about your roles at Channable and, what you've been up to.
Yeah, thanks, Richard. Thanks everyone for being here as well. Really glad to be here myself. My name is Floyd van Zoelen. I'm a knowledge specialist at Channable, like Richard also pointed out. And I'm basically responsible for our customer education initiatives here at Channable. One of the main parts being obviously the Channacademy, which is our online platform built on Northpass. Another role I have is in project lead of the help center team, which we try to integrate as much as possible. So that we can really get the level of confidence and knowledge of our customers going. With me is Vanshj, also part of the Channacademy team. We actually have some others in there as well. So, let me give the floor to Vanshj to introduce himself.
Yeah, same as Floyd. Richard, thank you for having us here today, and to Northpass. My name is Vanshj Seth. You can see that it's spelled quite weird, but as you say, everyone calls me Vance. I'm responsible for the marketing and communication at Channable for the US, along with being the host and presenter for the Channacademy, which is our learning center.
And if I'm not mistaken, you are in the studio today, aren't you?
Yeah, that is correct. I am in the studio. So this is where all the magic happens. This is where we do our recordings and where we make all of our videos for the Channacademy.
Excellent. Excellent. So, okay. So Floyd, can you just tell us a bit more about your respective background, how it relates to customer education, perhaps how you got started at Channable?
Yeah, sure. So I actually started at Channable as a support employee, part-time while still studying. Completely unrelated field of study, but I started here, really enjoyed my time, and then when I finished studies, I actually became a full-time support employee. And during this period, I was also asked to actually join the Channacademy team, but then still as a script writer. We use scripts to create our videos, which Vanshj then actually in this pretty studio actually makes. That was actually my first acquaintance with customer education. And then a bit later, I was actually asked or promoted, if you will, to the role of knowledge specialist when our previous project team lead left the team. And he actually combined a few different functions. So we didn't really have a committed customer education person that really was in charge, and we thought that it really was needed because we saw the growth that was happening in the Channacademy on all different fronts, mostly that. So I was actually drafted there as a knowledge specialist, and from there on, we kept on working on the Channacademy, but now with a bit more of a focused approach on it.
Got it. And Vance, how about you?
Yeah, well, marketing and management is my background. I was a freelancer when I moved to the Netherlands the first few years. I've been here about 6.5 years now. Moving to Channable, I think that was kind of my first foray into customer education. In the past 2.5 years that I've been at the company, I've always done the marketing for the US, along with business development for about a year. And as a side project that has now grown into half my job, I have been the host and presenter for the Channacademy, which is our learning center here.
Isn't it funny how those things work? Just somehow, sometimes, for example, I'm an accidental marketer. I stepped into marketing much earlier in my career, but boy, it's interesting how those things just kind of evolve naturally.
Yeah, exactly. It started off as a side project, and now that's half my job. So, and I love it.
For me, yeah, great.
Okay, so maybe some people aren't familiar that are joining us today, but can one of you just tell us a little bit more about Channable? What is it exactly?
Sure. Yeah, I can imagine you're not necessarily familiar. Yeah, we are basically a feed management and PPC tool, which still may not shed as much light as we want for some people. But it basically means that we offer a service to different types of clients that makes advertising a lot easier, advertising online. So obviously you're all familiar with Amazon, with eBay, Google Shopping, stuff like that. All of these channels have their own different requirements for your advertisements, whether you be a, I don't know, clothes seller or electronic seller or a travel agency offering flights. You can offer those things online, obviously, but maybe on different channels. And you can obviously have a hard time keeping up with all those different requirements. So we've basically integrated all of those channels in our tool. And from there, you just set up your advertisement within Channable, and they, basically automated could do that respective channel of your choice. So that's the purpose there, easing up things.
As a former marketer that was in the MarTech ecosystem, I can say that's definitely a useful tool. There's no question about it. But okay, so let's actually get into a little bit of customer education and kind of learning and training. So just thinking back to when learning and training became a priority for Channable, what were the key drivers of that?
If you allow me to answer, Vanshj, as well, I think the main driver was actually the growth that we were experiencing. So we were founded in 2014. We're a Dutch startup, I should say. We're now officially a scale-up. So that's really, really great. So that growth actually drove a lot of things, but also the necessity for learning, training, developing, giving our customers a bit more confidence in our tool usage. So yeah, that was one of the main drivers, I would say. So yeah, mostly growth. Maybe Vanshj, if you have anything to add, please do.
Yeah, no, I think you hit the nail on the head there, Floyd. That was a good explanation.
Thanks.
All right, cool. So way back, this is still back when, learning and training became kind of there was a catalyst there. So I'm just trying to understand, before the Channacademy existed, so what did the customer education journey look at Channable? And what I mean by that is looking back at what that journey looked like when you initially started training customers at the very outset. So what did that look like?
I think I'll take this one.
Okay.
Sure. I would say that the customer education really started with our support team. So as a service that we offer all of our clients, it is a free first setup. Because we are a do-it-yourself tool, we want to make sure that you get kind of like situated before we set you off on your own. This includes a walkthrough of our tool, which is usually a call that kind of gives a detailed explanation of the setup of your connection of choice. And together with this, or along with this, we also have a quite extensive help center with just the frequently asked questions. From the marketing perspective, we of course try and be a knowledge provider. So we have blogs and case studies together with webinars and how-to videos, which we hope that our customers, kind of found relevant. But we kind of saw, that as our clients grew into partners, we also started offering training days, which I think would be our first real formal form of customer education.
Got it. Okay. Thank you for setting that stage. So, all right. So that's kind of pre-Channacademy. So
right.
Let's move a little bit forward along the timeline. So what was the catalyst that made your team actually look into adopting an LMS, thankfully Northpass, and launch the Channacademy?
Yeah, well, I think it goes a little bit back to the last question, because we, like I said, we used to hold like training days. This kind of started at our office in person, just in the lunchroom. But as that grew, and we reached 100+ participants for our training days, we realized just logistically that we wouldn't fit. So the last time that one of the last times that we gave a training day, we actually had to rent out an office that was across the street from our office. And kind of standing at the back of the church, looking at the presenter or trainer standing up in the pulpit with all of our clients and partners sitting in the pews, we thought, like, my God, we're turning into a cult. Like, what is this? So I guess from that epiphany, we realized that physical training wasn't scalable at a certain point. And not to mention, even at that point, we had customers and partners that couldn't physically attend those events. And we wanted to make sure that we were supporting our client base like on a global scale. And we couldn't expect everybody to be there in person. So I think that was the like aha moment for us.
Got it. So I'm assuming when you were in the church and literally creating Channable disciples, you said, wait a second, what are we doing here?
Yeah, exactly.
We
We needed to
something.
spread the word faster or bigger.
Right. So especially with that kind of scale. So that makes sense totally. But can you just tell me a bit more about the Channacademy? So for example, how many courses are there? When did it launch? How many learners have onboarded? Just to give us an idea of that scale and what it looks like.
Yeah, sure. I'll take this one. Yeah, so like Vanshj said, it wasn't really scalable anymore. So we tried to combine the lessons learned basically from all our other efforts. And from those in-person training days, we actually got a lot of feedback that said, so we really like this interactivity, right, between the presenter or the church leader, if you will, and the assignments, because we actually also gave them assignments there that they could do like in groups. And that was actually their main learning point. And then from those webinars and how-to videos, our customers really liked the in-depth material. So it would just really go into a certain feature, explain everything. And that's actually what we wanted to combine, right? So those lessons from the videos and those lessons from the assignments. So yeah, we were looking for that, and that turned into the Channacademy, where we currently have 10 courses live from launch in June, I believe. Yeah, June 2020 it was. 10 courses consisting of over 50 videos, almost 30 assignments, and this combination really worked well. We also, actually interesting to mention, is we launched a certification program recently, where we sort of zoom in a bit more on a specific feature, and then if you complete that, you're really like the expert on that feature, on that front, which was already very well received. You asked about the number of users. That's also a nice one. We actually have 2,500 activated user as of now. Good number. Interesting story here, or fun story to mention maybe for you guys, is that when we first started, we were sort of unsure. Like I mentioned, nobody had any experience with this kind of initiative. So I believe we set our first goal somewhere at, I don't know, 40, 50 activated users in a quarter. Because yeah, like I said, we had no idea. So we would have been happy if it was 40 or 50. Turned out it was almost 400 actually. So the need of the Channacademy was pretty much showing there already in the first quarter, and yeah, we just kept expanding on that, and we saw the same amount of people joining after. So yeah, that's a short recap of the Channacademy.
I mean, that's great to hear. I think a lot of people, from the dialogue that I've been able to tap into, it seems like most folks don't really know what's essentially going to be there. So to hear that, the Channable install base, essentially there was this need and this yearning for learning or training to have them become better at their respect, become better product users. I think that's super, super beneficial. I think it's super great to hear that as well, that there is this kind of desire for people that they want to actually better themselves in their career.
Yeah, it's real confidence boost for us, I'd say.
Okay, cool. So just moving along here. So now that you're leveraging Northpass, what exactly does that customer journey look like now? So once a Channable customer signs a deal with your company, what does that look like?
Yeah, I think I'll take this one. Well, I think first of all, yeah, they sign up for the tool and choose a connection that they want to like advertise on, which channel they would like, and then support sets that up for them. Then you get the in-depth walkthrough where you kind of can ask all the questions that you have, get settled in, learn how everything works in our solution, and then from there you go live and you start paying after you've chosen your subscription, kind of managing the account yourself. For many of our retail customers, They were just looking for a way to get like a quick sell on a specific channel like Amazon. And we noticed that once they were onboarded and set up, that support and customer success were receiving a lot of technical questions from these clients. And we wanted we wanted a better way to help and support them. And that became Northpass and the Learning Center. So we moved a lot of those technical questions and like just frequently asked questions to Northpass and the Channacademy, allowing the support and customer success team to answer more strategic questions and to kind of refer to our courses for anything that our clients needed to get up and running pretty much. So our Channacademy and our Learning Center is kind of the like go-to like Bible for our users now at this point.
Yeah. If I may chime in for a second here.
Please do.
Also, thanks. There's also the plan is to really include this in sort of the onboarding experience that our customers have. So like we mentioned in the beginning, it's very much a one-to-one approach also with the walkthrough. So we really have one person calling to another person for, I don't know, 40 minutes to an hour. And we sort of looking to include this more in the way that you sign up in Channable. You just get this prompt where you would go to the Channacademy. So we've been looking into to doing that a bit more, so that you can just get settled right from the get basically, and also follow those courses before you actually get started. So we want to combine those efforts a bit more now.
Exactly.
Got it. Okay, cool. So I'm going to throw you guys a little bit of a curveball here. So just curious, so how difficult has adoption of the Channacademy been? Obviously, there was a great desire from your install base to get involved, but of course, as time goes on, making sure those folks are still engaged is always difficult. So I just want to, do you have any color on that?
Yeah, that's actually what we're trying to get up and running now. Now that we're a year, 6 months into really engaging with our client base, the challenge was just in the beginning bringing awareness to the Channacademy. But now that we have the numbers to back us, once our customers start using and engaging in the Channacademy, we really see positive numbers and benefits that I'm pretty sure Floyd has more information on that he can tell about a little bit later. But the initial challenge was really bringing the awareness and the need to the customer, to customers themselves.
Right. Yeah, and frankly, I follow the customer education community, the Slack channel, and there's always a lot of conversation. I mean, most customer education professionals note that adoption is one of the most difficult components of any customer-focused initiative. So, just curious, do you have any more? Do you have an example, or one or two examples of possibly what you've done or implemented to boost the Channacademy's adoption rate?
Definitely. It actually started internally with the employees at Channable, bringing awareness to the great resource that we had by educating our customer success team. Once we had them onboarded and once our customer success team knew about this resource, they were the ones going out there and telling all of our clients about it. Any chance they got, any conversation, any email, they were shooting links, giving demos, giving our clients sneak peeks of the tool and of the Channacademy. Also, we held a raffle, just as a promo, where clients could participate and enter for a chance to win a case study with us. In the Netherlands and in the Benelux, our partner base is really dog eat dog, so they really took this chance to get the opportunity to do a case study with us. This drove a lot of engagement and created kind of more a sense of value for the Academy to our customers, to be able to actually work towards something tangible and to better their own knowledge, of course. But moving forward, we also want to integrate the Academy more into our general business model and show and celebrate the knowledge of our tool and the success that it can provide to all of our client base and professionals.
Okay, super cool. Thank you. Thank you for that info.
Yeah.
So I'm going to switch gears a little bit here. This is definitely a topic that I'm sure many of the folks on the line are super interested about, but which KPIs and metrics is Channable looking at, to measure the success of the Channacademy?
Yeah, I'll take this one. I'm the numbers guy here. Thanks. So yeah, we're looking actually at three things. I think sort of familiar with the people here. So we look at engagement, product adoption, and the lifetime value of our customers. Sort of all related if we dive into the numbers actually. But what we want to see is, okay, so a customer of ours is joining the Channacademy, right? He or she is following courses, participating in everything, and then we just want to see, does that actually translate to activity in our product? Do they actually do more with our product? Then tied into that is actually, do they also buy more things, right? Do they use more of our features? So like I mentioned, we have for example, the marketplaces like Amazon. You could get started with that. You could get started with even a bit more basic option. But if you follow that course on the marketplaces, do you actually use then, for example, the Amazon marketplace? Same goes for a PPC tool, for example. So that's something we can measure. And lastly, obviously, we just look at how much value they can bring, which is one of the main goals, is to get them started faster, right? So they sign up and ideally they would get started as soon as possible. And then, yeah, just see how much they can grow within our subscription plans. So that's the three things I'd say we look at mostly.
Okay, and can you just give any color of kind of impact you've seen since working with Northpass, since actually launching in June of last year?
Yeah, sure. So a little bit of context here maybe is that we actually have two levels. I already mentioned it a bit, but we have the basic level for new users of Channable, have no clue or very little of actually what Channable is and does and what you can do. And then we have the expert courses, which really go in depth and see, okay, what are tips and tricks for this feature? How do I get a more advanced setup up and running? Stuff like that. So in general, we see like a trend where the more advanced you are in the Channacademy, so as you did more courses or as you moved up to the expert course within a certain path, then all of these metrics that I just mentioned, actually all three increase, they improve, right? So we see a higher engagement rate for those customers. We see a higher or more diverse, I should say, product adoption. They use more of our features. Those features they use more by themselves as well. And yeah, they actually also do have some higher subscriptions on average. So just to give you some numbers for the engagement rate, we actually see, I'm going to have to look this up here because I don't know them by heart, but we see those expert learners that are actually 44.5% higher or more engaged with our product. For the basic learners, that's 19%. So there you see this trend. Then at the product adoption, also a bit more context. So here the PPC tool is actually one of our sort of add-ons to a subscription, because it's quite complex, right? You have to know a lot about it to actually get this started. So here we see the most difference between the expert learners and the people that don't actually follow courses yet, this is quite the number, 210% difference. So on average, almost all expert learners actually activated the PPC tool because they followed some course on the PPC tool itself. So really some great numbers, and that actually also shows in the sort of the more qualitative feedback that we get through surveys and email that we sent out. So yeah, really good to see those numbers.
Yeah, that's just music to my ears, particularly expert level, learners that are processing through the system, and to see that they're that much more sticky certainly does bode well, so I just love hearing that stuff. So thank you so much for sharing, Floyd.
No problem.
But once again, we're going to switch gears here. So, probably something that I would guess most folks that are attending today would just be curious about. So just out of curiosity, so what are some of the biggest challenges of taking Channable's learning program from that kind of initial phase to the next level with actually an implemented customer-focused academy? So what were some of the biggest challenges around that?
Yeah, I think I'll take this one. I think it's kind of like the same challenges we faced as going from a startup to a scale up, just the growing pains in general. I think going more from like a regional to a global thought process and everything that we do, we really had to try and take the needs and the pains of all of our clients into account. For us personally, for the Channacademy team, the technical hurdles, such as developing the front end of the academy, the filming, the editing, those all take specialties that we needed to all bring together as a team. And yeah, a challenge. One of the challenges was just mistakes made. And been learning from those mistakes. And we really said to ourselves, every time we finished a course, we were like, wow, this is way better than the last course. And so
Yep.
kind of like a chronological progression for all of us as professionals internally, because I've been the face of all of the videos. You can see the progression over the past year or so or more. And yeah, and the new skill sets learned, being able to edit scripts, the digital editing, just for me personally, but on the technical side as well.
Yeah. One thing I might add here as well is you mentioned the developing of the front end, for example. At the beginning, it was quite difficult to get other resources outside of our team. So we do have quite a team. We have 5 people, but then if you run into something technical that you can't solve within the team, it can be quite hard to get those resources from, for example, dev to actually fix those things or make those things even. And like I said, as we grew and sort of showed our value to the company, it became easier, not necessarily that they were at the jump ready to help us out, of course, because they have their own challenges as well. But then you see, okay, we get these resources from them and they want to help us out, and then that really works out well. But at the beginning, that was quite a challenge as well.
Yeah, now we have the respect of everybody. Definitely internally, it's not a side project anymore.
Exactly.
Got it. Okay, cool. So, just trying to think on what somebody that's joining us today might be interested in. I think it'd be really great if we could just have just some takeaways for any customer education professional who's joined us today. So just thinking like, I think this is always a great question to ask, but what would you do differently if you knew what you know now back when you first started training at Channable? And this is even, before the Channacademy existed. So for both of you, what would you say?
Yeah, maybe first to give ourselves a little bit of praise before we go into the changes that we would have made. Something that I think, because it's also a really good takeaway for the people here, is that we really built this on our customers' feedback. So I already mentioned, right, the lessons learned from the videos and the in-person trainings, but we actually also tested this a lot. Really, the testing took almost as much as developing each video, right? So we asked our partners, we asked some of our customers, we tested the video itself just in a test environment. We tested Northpass's environment itself, whether it would look good, whether they liked the click-throughs and stuff like that with our customers. They did, by the way. And then we also did that internally, and we still do that internally. Every time we release a course, we sort of ask an expert on the matter, hey, can you go through it? Does it work? Is it correct? Are there any mistakes? And that's something we did from the start, and that really helped us, I think, because the feedback was just great on that. So I would definitely take that as a takeaway. Something maybe we could have done differently was, I just mentioned the numbers, but those the analysis of those numbers was actually something we did pretty late in the process, right? So we started just putting out content. We knew that was good content because of the feedback process, but we didn't really have a way of measuring that before, because we just never thought of that. Like I said, we didn't have any expectations, so we also didn't really know, okay, how will this work out? Will it work out? And if so, how do we know? So it's really good to keep in mind that you actually would like to know that from the start. So have something in place that that you know, okay, this measures my success from the beginning, and that you have to do it afterwards. It's possible, but it's nice to have it from the start, I'd say.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, what Floyd just said, you know, looking back in hindsight, we really sold ourselves short in the beginning as to what we could offer and what we thought like our client base would be happy with. So don't sell yourself short. Don't underestimate customer education, and really just engage like with your audience and with your client base to see what they need.
Got it. Yeah, I would definitely say that's some sound advice. But thank you both for those answers. So we're just gonna now that we've kind of concluded the fireside chat bit, just wanted to just dive into some Q&A from the audience, frankly. So everybody that's on the line today, feel free to dive into that Q&A function down below, enter in your questions. We've received several already, so I'm just gonna dive right into those. So Floyd, Vance, whoever wants to take this one. From a user's perspective, what is the benefit of doing one of your courses?
Yeah, I'll answer it. So there's actually two. I'd say first, I sort of mentioned it already, but if you're a new customer with Channable, it can be quite overwhelming, right? If you just start and you see this tool, you have some sort of idea what it does, but how does it actually work? Then it just sort of boosts your confidence, I'd say. So you can follow a course, you get acquainted with the feature itself, and then you actually apply those lessons. This is very important, actually, through the assignments. So basically, you watch a video, you move to our tool, and then you apply those lessons. So in doing a course, you actually already start setting up your Channable account, which is really nice. And then the second part is, if you're a bit more advanced or experienced with Channable, then it just gives you those tips and tricks that you might never actually know if you wouldn't have followed the course. Maybe, of course, you would if you're really good. Never underestimate them. But yeah, that's definitely also a value it would bring, I'd say.
Okay, cool. All right, let me pull up another one here. Just 1 second. Okay, here's one. What is your thought process from choosing a topic to putting a course live, and how do you ask for and process feedback?
Well, I guess I'll take this one since Floyd just answered. I think the first part is easy. We always choose a topic that we feature in our tool. Then we kind of determine the learning goals and what we want our clients to actually get out of the course. After that, we create the general outline, just bulleting it out, in which we usually ask for feedback, sometimes externally from our client base and also from multiple departments within the company. And then we start writing the script, and that covers everything that should be mentioned in the course. This includes like any of the videos that we're going to be adding, and also assignments or interactive material. Then before editing, the video editor and myself and the scriptwriter usually sit down to do like a little briefing and smooth all the filming out to make sure that everyone's on the same page, and that we get it all in one take, because we've learned from experience that we've had to do a lot of reshoots in the past to make sure that we got everything correct. And then from there, we actually do the shooting and then the editing of all the live scenes, the screencasts in the case for our academy, and the animations. And then we review it for mistakes again. Hopefully we don't have to do any retakes, and then we'll publish a new course.
Got it. Okay. All right, I've got another one here. I might have to actually cover my ears on this one, but what do you believe is most critical when selecting an LMS partner?
Cover them. No, I think so. We actually chose Northpass quite a while ago, obviously, and there were some requirements, of course, that we had, and the main ones were that we needed to, first of all, get those videos in there quite easily, but also make it interactive through assignments, through quizzes, through I don't know, send surveys, for example. Like I said, we wanted to get that feedback, so that would have to be an option. So the certification program, that was when we started. It was like, this is going to happen in 5 or 10 years. It's like, first we get this academy up and running, but it would have been nice if that's already there. That was possible. Also making it on brand, right? So that you have this nice option that you can get started with, so you can focus on your content creation, on your course creation, put it live, and then customize. We chose to do it right from the start, so that we wouldn't have this out of the box option, but right on brand from the start. But both were available in Northpass. So I think that sort of covers it. Maybe Vanshj has some additions, but videos, assignments, interactive content, easily customizable. Not that you need, like I said, 20 hours of code a week. That's not very nice to have. So certification program.
Yeah, I think the only thing I can add there is, as a not very technically adept person myself, also like the interface and just the usability of the tool. Everything was really logical. You can't get lost. That made me happy. I think that makes our clients happy. And then being able to customize it a little bit from there, like Floyd was saying with the design, has all been awesome.
All right, very well, very well. We've got one more question. So this one's coming in. So you mentioned the support team sends people to the Channacademy when they have frequently asked questions.
Mm-hmm.
You ever just get users that just want the answer and don't necessarily want to self-serve? And if so, how do you handle that?
Yeah, I can maybe answer this as well from my support perspective. Obviously, we get those questions. To give you a clear idea, we usually get those questions, and then what we do is answer them like we would normally would. And then at the end, we say something like, hey, if you want to know more about this, please follow the course on this or that topic, right? So it's not like, thanks for your answer, go to the course, because we don't want to answer you, to put it very rudely. But it's just to give them the picture of, okay, you can actually get more information. Obviously, you can keep contacting our support department and we'll give you an answer you can work with. But it might be nice if you can actually do it in your own time, because you don't depend on our support department's answering time. So that's our motivation behind that. And if they still want to keep asking questions, we'll help them out, no problem.
Exactly. Yeah, if I can add there, it's just like customer empowerment. Of course, we're going to help them out up front and solve whatever issues going on. But like Floyd said, then we always refer to one of our courses or one of our topics. If they want to learn and figure out how to do it themselves, then they have the option.
Yep.
Got it. And I actually lied. Somebody just slid in the questions. Got one more in here. So
Perfect.
That being said, here we go. So how frequently does Channable's products change? Do you find yourself having to re-record training videos frequently as things change?
Well, I think I'll take this one. Yeah, we joke about it all the time, actually. Our interface doesn't change that often, but we do constantly have updates to our tool and solution. So now looking back a year later, like I said, looking back at the progression from the first video till now, it is in our timeline to go back and update our first original set of courses, because the interface is a little bit outdated. There are new features. So that feedback loop has taken us about a year. I guess it depends on the services that you provide, how fast your interface or your technology changes, whatever the case may be. But for us, we kind of have it as a joke, but we definitely do need to go back and re-record.
Yep.
Less than a year, maybe a year.
Exactly. And also we always have to wait, of course, till the update is actually finished. That's also sometimes a bit difficult, because then they're still working on it, and you don't want to be updating your course before the actual update has taken place, right? That you actually have to redo it twice. So that's also a nice feedback loop within the company to make sure that we're updated at the right time. So, but yeah, it does happen.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that's pretty much it. All the questions have been answered over here. So just want to say, Vance, Floyd, thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you for providing some of your knowledge, providing us your experience and all those things related to Channable, as well as the Channacademy and the successes that you've had. We really appreciate it. And just for anybody that's on the line today, first off, thank you, for joining us today as well, trying to learn more and better yourselves, better your skill set, et cetera. But, just wanted to say, if you haven't checked out the Northpass blog, you really should. We have a slew of customer education related blog posts that are up there that may help you in your journey. And if you'd like to learn more about Northpass, feel free to click on that book a demo button. We'll happily set you up with a team member and, see if we can, perhaps help you out. So thank you again, everybody. Appreciate you joining today. Thank you, Floyd. Thank you, Vance. And yeah, take care.